Last night, the Portland Trailblazers beat the Dallas Mavericks. And, man, it was a wild, fun game. The Blazers won 134 to 131. Came down to the wire, came down to the final possession. It was really basically a playoff game. Last night, Blazers, Mavs. Oh, my gosh, so much fun. Luka Doncic versus Damian Lillard. The whole bubble restart has basically been a long playoff series for the Portland Trailblazers. The Blazers have been fighting hard to get back into good standing in the NBA. Now, by winning last night, the Blazers are now the number 8 seed in the Western Conference. Bang! They have now gotten them an opportunity to get to the playoffs. They can clinch the 8th seed with a win on Thursday over the Nets. Then they're going to have one play-in game, and after that, round 1 against the LA Lakers. Lakers-Blazers round 1 of the playoffs. It's a big deal. And look, the Mavericks were trying to beat Portland last night. This is not a game where the Mavs were resting their starters. No, for Dallas, Kristaps Porzingis had 36 points, 7 3-pointers. Luka Doncic had 25 points. Tim Hardaway Jr., 24 points. But for Portland, man, Damian Lillard was on a tear. He had 3-pointer after 3-pointer. There was a moment where he had like 3 in a row on 3 possessions in a row. He ended up with 61 points in the night, 9 3-pointers. That's 27 points out of 61. I just cannot say enough good things about Damian Lillard. It was so much fun to watch. And there was one shot he had. It was so impressive. He looked like he got fouled where he goes up to shoot a 3-pointer. I thought he got fouled. The no foul was called, but he like contorts his body and shoots a 3-pointer anyway. And I'm like, I just don't know how he made that. I still to this day, last night, that's the most impressive shot I saw from the Blazer game. Carmelo Anthony also had 26 points. Carmelo Anthony, his move, what he did last night, kind of his go-to move is to back a player down towards the post and then turn around, hit a mid-range J. He hit so many of those last night. He had, I think, Tim Hardaway Jr. guarding him, there's a big size differential there. Carmelo Anthony's got to back him down a little bit, turn around, hit a mid-range J. It's a great move. It works a lot. And what's most impressive to me when I watch the Blazers, by the way, is Damian Lillard's conditioning. The dude is never out of breath. He's never tired. He played 41 minutes out of a 48-minute game last night and looks totally fine. Not even phased. Damian Lillard, there's never a moment where he looks tired or is breathing hard. It's very clear to me that when the NBA shut down in March, Damian Lillard just kept training. He was at home and just doing it's business as usual where, you know, at a time of great uncertainty when a lot of players were like, I don't know if we're playing. Like, we all went through this time when coronavirus first hit, we were like, we didn't know the long-term plan. A lot of people were like, should we just rest and hang out? And I'm guilty of it. Like, a lot of people were like, well, I don't know what to do. We were all in limbo for a little while, all quarantined at home. And it's very clear to me, Damian Lillard was not in limbo. He was at home, training, preparing, working his butt off for the opportunity he would get in the bubble. And that's very cool to me. By the way, back to Melo real quick. Deadspin put out an article the other day criticizing Carmelo Anthony. Deadspin said that he feels more like a Hollow Famer than a Hall of Famer. They called him Hollow. Said his career has been mostly disappointing and not very good. And really, it was a lot of cheap shots at Carmelo Anthony, in my opinion. For him to put up 26 points, 8 rebounds, score a lot, so he can still do it, it's cool. And I hope that Carmelo Anthony, as the Blazers make a playoff run, I think they have the capacity to make a deep playoff run in the bubble. One of the unforgotten stories, the stories that cannot be forgotten, is Carmelo Anthony, his contribution to this Blazers team. This is not the same Blazer roster that we had when things left off in March. Yusuf Nurkic is back. They're better. They're a stronger team. And Carmelo Anthony is a big part of that. And that cannot be forgotten. And I like the fact that instead of responding to the article, which whether he saw or not, it's cool that Carmelo Anthony does his talking on the court. And I don't know how we would get this matchup. I don't think it's possible, actually, because the Blazers are the number 8 seed and the Mavericks are the number 7 seed. And I have no idea how they would match up again. I think the Mavericks are going to lose at some point to a better team. I think they're going to play the Clippers in round 1. That's a hard win. They're probably going to lose in round 1. But, man, if we can get a rematch between the Blazers and the Dallas Mavericks, a 7-game series between those two teams, oh, my gosh, it'd be so much fun. Now, Blazers-Lakers is also phenomenal. And I got no doubt that'll be great, too. I want to say, this Blazers team came into the bubble on a mission. Damian Lillard came into the bubble on a mission. And really, he realized, hey, in the bubble, we control our own destiny. All we need to do is win. If we win and win and win and win and win and keep winning and lose a game or two on the way, but if we control our own destiny and win a bunch of games, score a lot of points, then we're going to do well in the bubble. And Damian Lillard took that to heart. And I am telling you, I would not want to play the Portland Trailblazers anytime soon. It feels to me like round 1 of the playoffs, the Lakers are walking into a trap. If I was a Laker fan and my team had to play Damian Lillard and the Portland Trailblazers right now, I'm like, ugh. As a Laker fan, I'd be like, I'm not a Laker fan, but if I was, I'd be like, I don't feel good about this at all. This is really, this might be a trap for the Lakers. Now, what's the story for Dallas? Dallas, they lost to Portland by 3 points last night. And unfortunately, it's again another close game where Dallas couldn't finish at the end. I don't like this narrative, but it is kind of becoming one where they lost to Houston in overtime by 4 points. They lost to the Suns by 2 points. They've now lost to the Blazers by 2 points. Now, if you want to, you could also argue with me, and I think it's a sound argument to argue with me and say, well, the Mavericks did win in overtime against the Bucks and the Sacramento Kings. I get it. Fair enough. But I still think it remains that Dallas has very clearly had a problem this year with finishing games at the end. Can they close out a game? And I don't know what's going on. Is it youth? Is it the personality of Kristaps Porzingis, Luka Doncic? I don't know. Luka Doncic. I can't say his name for some reason. I'm so sorry. I don't know what's going on with the Mavs. Is it Kristaps? Is it Luka? Is it just they're a young team that needs to play together more? I don't know. I know Luka's only 21 years old, so he's got a lot of time to grow and get better. And I love watching. The Mavs are fun to watch. They're young. They're talented. But I want to see the Mavericks grow into a team that can finish and win games at the end. Can they beat a Damian Lillard? Can they beat a Houston Rockets? Can they close out against a guy like Devin Booker at the end of a game? So far, we haven't seen that a lot from the Mavericks, and I want to see that more because they're a young, talented team that's growing, and I want to see them continue to grow in that direction.